welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in today and watching this video. Before I get started, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Like this video, give me your comments below, but more importantly with this video, share. Out of all the videos I've ever done, if you're going to share or talk about any of them, this would be the one. Right, okay guys, if any of you follow me on my social media page on Instagram, you probably have a rough idea what today's video will be about. And if you don't already, go check out my Instagram page. I'll put the link below. Guys, I'm talking about breast implant illness, or otherwise known as BII, the effects it has on the body, and ultimately what it's done to me. I can only talk for myself. So before I get into this video, I'm not a doctor. I'm in no way trying to deter women out there who want to have cosmetic surgery or breast augmentation. It's your journey. Do what you need to do. All I would ask of you if you're watching this video is just do your research. You know, knowledge is power. Just have a look at the cons as well. We all get caught up, I think, when we want to do something. We just look at all the positives and we tend to just block out any of the negatives. But you know, there are a lot of negatives to breast augmentation, and even down to the fact that they don't last a lifetime. I think a lot of women, you know, especially if you're sort of my age, I was 19 when I had my first breast augmentation, you sort of think, yep, I've had it done now, that's it. But it's actually, you know, it's something that you're recommended to change them every 10 years. So, you know, really and truly, if you're a young woman, you might have to change them several times in a lifetime, and you know it costs like between £7,000 and £10,000 each go. It's a lot of money, but that's the least of your worries. Okay, I'm just going to share my story, and if it helps one person out there, you know, maybe think twice about having breast augmentation, or if it helps someone out there who's maybe like myself and has been suffering for years with just unexplained symptoms and illnesses that ultimately, in my case, ended up in me being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, then, you know, I've done a good thing. This has not been an easy video to share with you guys, because it's a real personal one. You know, how many women want to go publicly talking about their breasts? Not many. Right, okay. So yeah, as I said earlier, I was 19 when I had my first breast augmentation done. I'd already had a son at that age, so I'd been through the growing breast during pregnancy and then the deflation that comes after, and I drove my parents nuts, like literally crazy, because they were so against it. But in the end, they gave in and they actually paid for my first breast augmentation, so I was quite lucky. I'm not going to drag on with this. I'm going to really get to the points that I need to talk to you about. Fast forward sort of 4 or 5 years later, I was having a bit of a difficult time in my personal life, and I decided, you know, I need bigger breasts. Look, I can't explain why. It was just my psyche at the time, okay? Crazy, yep. So I ended up behind everyone's back. I didn't even tell anybody, because at this point I was able to pay for it myself. I just got booked in and had another breast augmentation done, taking me from like a big B, small c to like a double D E cup. And I was literally, I woke up from the surgery and I was like, yes, I'm living my best life. And that was really short-lived, because the truth is, you know, finding self-love doesn't matter what you do externally. And this is the journey I've been going on recently. It's about finding self-acceptance within yourself, not about looking at what you look like externally. And, you know, that's something I've battled with my whole life. So, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of you women who relate to that. You know, you kind of think, oh, if I had this done, or, you know, if I have fillers done, or I have Botox done, I have breast augmentation, whatever it is you do, it's going to make you feel better about you. But what happens is you'll have it done, and if it all goes well, you might feel great, and you'll feel great for however long, you know, a day, a week, a month, and that feeling goes, and then you're looking for the next fix and the next fix and the next one. So, you know, it's just this never-ending cycle of just not being happy. So instead of spending all the money on all these procedures that are really costly, it might be worth spending money on therapy, you know, which is something I've done. and just try and find some self-acceptance internally. Honestly, it'll be worth it. But anyway, right, so I had this second breast augmentation done, and this is when I started to just get unexplained symptoms and illnesses and everything else. I'll talk you through some of those now, in case any of you can relate. So it's probably about 6 months to a year after having the second breast augmentation. I just started coming out in like hives and welts all over my body, and it would be any time I got into water or any time I overheated or just anything. I was referred to the hospital, to the dermatology team, and I had loads of tests, or blood tests and lots of different things, allergy testing, and everything came back inconclusive, or like nothing being wrong. So eventually I was put on some really strong sort of antihistamine pills that you can only get through the hospital. They're not like the standard ones you'd get, Benadryl or Claritin or whatever from the chemist. And eventually, after about 18 months, it cleared up. I don't think it had anything to do with the medication. I just think it had run its course. So that went, and then I put it to the back of my mind. I forgot about it. And then I started developing a sensitivity to almost anything I ate. I'd vomit. And it got to the point I couldn't actually drink water. And at this point, my mum and dad were like, right, okay, we're going to take you to the hospital. You need to see someone. I just couldn't, even if I drank half a glass of water, I'd be vomiting it back up. It was bizarre. And so they were saying, I got to the hospital and they were saying, oh, it could be, you know, it sounds like a stomach ulcer, or, you know, I mean, I was in my 20s, you know, I was quite healthy, fit, ate pretty well. Anyway, they did all the tests, the ultrasounds, and it wasn't showing anything. And it came back again inconclusive. They had no idea what was wrong. Again, this lasted about 6 weeks, I think, where I lost so much weight. I don't actually even have a picture to insert here to show you, but I was just like a rake. It was disgusting. But it wasn't through choice. It was literally just not being able to eat or drink anything. Anyway, that did eventually resolve, and then in the back end of the beginning of 2009, I contracted swine flu. And I got really unwell. And bearing in mind, all of these things are sort of happening one after the other. It's just a spiral of ill health without a break. So I got swine flu, and I was literally bedridden. I was really, really sick. And this is the same year, 2009, that I finally got a diagnosis of MS, because I started having neurological symptoms. I won't go into that because, again, I've done a separate video on my MS story, so you can go check that out. I should put the link below. And then in 2010, just after having my daughter, I received a letter from the clinic that did my second breast augmentation telling me that actually you are one of the victims of the PIP scandal, and we are offering to remove them, and we recommend that you have them removed. And I was like, oh my God. My parents were like, you need to have these removed, okay? The only problem was this time I did have them removed, but I wasn't in a financial situation to have them replaced or to have any reconstruction done. I literally just had them explanted and left. But what's really important about telling you this is that I had them out in total for 2 years, I think from 2011 till the back end of 2013. And in those 2 years, bearing in mind I'd already been diagnosed with MS, I was symptom-free. I was the picture of health. I'd run a marathon. I was just fantastically well. But I still never made a correlation between potentially the breast implants making me sick and, you know, consequently being stupid and naive, and again, just being wrapped up in vanity and how I looked. In December 2013, I travelled to Belgium and I had a third breast augmentation done because I was left really disfigured from the explant that I'd had before. Remember, there was no uplift done or reconstruction, and yeah, I wasn't prepared to stay like that. And so I had this third breast augmentation done in the December, and I'd started a new job actually, and then by January, like literally the first week, I had my first major relapse in like 3 years. I'd lost my vision and everything else, and I was just sick. And I still didn't make a correlation between the breast implants and my symptoms. I'm thinking at this point, oh, it's probably the the anesthesia that you have, you know, it's had some sort of reaction on my body. Not once did I go, Victoria, how about it's your breast implants that are making you sick? Cha-ching. No, that light bulb just did not go off in my head, and you know, I just cracked on. And you know, to fast forward this story so I don't blabber on, that is the way I've lived my life until, you know, obviously Corona happened, we were in lockdown, and it gave me time to re-evaluate my life. And in this past year, I'd had 4 relapses with my MS in a very short space of time, which had never happened before. And I just sat there and thought, you know what, it's how about it's my implants that are making me sick? And yeah, the light bulb finally went off, and I thought, okay, what are you going to do about it? Now, I've had them, you know, 7 years already. Bearing in mind, I told you, you do need to replace these. You know, breast implants are not for a lifetime. They have got a lifespan of roughly about 10 years, so you are recommended that you have them changed every 10 years. So I made the decision to have them explanted. I found a really great surgeon in the UK, probably one of the best at doing explant surgery, Dr David Floyd. He's based in London, and it looks like, fingers crossed, I got an email from him the other day saying that there is potential for me to have the operation done either in July, which is this month, or August. So I'm crossing fingers and toes, guys, and hoping that that does happen, because I really do believe they have made me sick. So, you know, that's all I'm saying. You know, guys, when you go through life, you're on your own journey, you have to take some ownership for your health. You know, we always put a lot of faith in doctors or, you know, pills or medication. But really, you have to actually look at yourself, your lifestyle, what you do, what you've done, and, you know, make educated decisions on what you need to do. With that said, guys, hope you've enjoyed my video. Please share. Much love.